Welcome back to God Aware. This week I was reading John chapter 21 and just reading about when Jesus restored Peter. And he asked an interesting question to Peter. He said, "Do you love me more than these?" And the interesting part of the question is that word "these." I mean, there were other disciples there, so he could have been comparing, Peter's love to the other disciples' loves, like, oh, well, do you love me more than these other disciples love me? But that really doesn't sound like the Jesus we know. So in thinking about this, I'd heard a theory that Jesus may have been referring to the fish that were there at their breakfast, meaning a reference to, Peter's previous occupation, his fishing job. And if we recall, Peter did life with Jesus for 3 years. For 3 years, he saw all the miracles. I mean, he was there, when he fed the 5,000. He was there for the Sermon on the Mount. And so for 3 years, Peter did life with Jesus. But at the beginning of John chapter 21, Peter announced, "I'm going fishing." And it sounds like Peter was done. After 3 years of doing life with Jesus, it's like Peter says, "I'm out. I'm going back to what I know. I'm going back to fishing." But, going through the rest of the chapter, we see, Jesus provides the miraculous catch and then meets the disciples and Peter on the beach. And in restoring Peter, he asks him, "Do you love me more than these?" And if he's referring to the fish and Peter's previous occupation, and he's reminding Peter, "Look, I have called you to be a fisher of men. I've called you out of what you were doing, and I've called you to follow me." And he follows up, he says, "If you love me more than these, feed my sheep." And I think each one of us has a moment in our lives, when we can sit down with Jesus and just reflect on what is he calling you out of, and what is he calling you to? When Jesus says, "Do you love me more than these?" I mean, it's probably not fishing, but each one of us has our these. Maybe you've been just consumed with a news story, lately, and it's taking all of your energy and your thought life. Maybe it's your work, your job, your profession that you've just been consumed with. I've got to provide, I've got to climb the corporate ladder. Maybe it's a relationship, but each one of us has those these. And if we can sit down and take time with Jesus, he's asking, "Do you love me more than these?" And if you do, then he has something for us. For Peter, it was, "Then feed my sheep." But anytime Jesus is calling us away from these, and calling us to himself, he has something that he's calling us to. So if we can each take time this week and recognize, what are the these in our lives? What have we put above Jesus, above our relationship, above what he has called us to? Just to reflect on, what do I return to? I think several of us, we've had a relationship with Jesus for such a long time. Peter was 3 years doing life with Jesus, seeing all the miracles. And for many of us, we've experienced life with God, but we can get sidetracked. We can return to something that we have known previously. And each one of us have to sit down and take a moment and say, let Jesus ask us, "Do you love me more than these?" And if so, then he has something to move towards. So Father, I thank you that you take time for each one of us and have a restoration moment for each one of us, where you sit down and talk to us individually and say, "Do you love me more than you love the these in your life? And if so, I have this for you to do." Because he will never call you away from something without calling you to something. So Father, I just thank you that you take the time to individually speak to each one of us and call us to what you have for us. Until next time, God bless.